I'm joined in the studio by Mahjoob Zweiri. He's a non-resident senior fellow at the Middle East Council on Global Affairs. Really good to have you with us, Mahjoob. As we've been hearing, the US President Donald Trump has been piling the pressure on both Hamas and Israel, more so on Hamas, to come to some sort of a deal. He says the first phase of a deal should be done this week. Is that too optimistic, do you think?
Too much optimistic. Let's bring to the fact that this negotiation is going on with the background that tomorrow is the second anniversary of 7th of October. So you can imagine from a psychological perspective both sides how they feel and how this will influence the negotiation. Trump is interested to make push, but there are difficulties, logistic difficulties. There is a must to stop the operations, the military operation. So the people on the ground, they can find where are those hostages and where are the bodies. And this process will require at least, according to people on the ground, 10 days to 2 weeks. 10 days to 2 weeks to those who are alive. Imagine those who are the bodies. So there are logistic difficulties. The key issue of that is the agreement, the principle, agreeing on the principles. And that is what's happening tonight. Tonight, the Hamas delegation there, the Israeli more expert people there who have arrived half an hour ago, the Americans are there, and the mediators, the Egyptians and the Qataris. So today the discussion and tonight and tomorrow will be on three things: the withdrawal, the issue of releasing the hostages, and ending the war. Basically a ceasefire immediately, so they can start other steps.
You can imagine that the Hamas group would be concerned that should they agree to release all of the hostages at once, there's nothing at this stage to guarantee that the Israelis won't continue their offensive in Gaza. Do you expect that to be a big topic of discussion?
Of course. That is, as we always say, devil's in details. That is what I assume there will be difficulties ahead. But there is a huge momentum now and pressure on Israel and Hamas that they have to move on both sides, on the hostage issue and the hostage issue, and also on ending the war. And both sides, they're getting what they want, basically. And I think that itself could put more pressure on them to be more flexible, to get things done as early as possible.
Another big question is, can Israel be trusted? Because we know we've been here before. Both sides had agreed to a ceasefire early this year, and that agreement was broken by the Israelis.
Of course, no one can say that Israel can be guaranteed. Even President Trump himself, in a phone call, he was basically blaming Netanyahu for all of this mess and chaotic situation. But at the end of the day, that is what's on the table. They have to play the game as it is, and then see what's happening. There is a major fact: Israeli government, society cannot hand over the whole issue of the war. It's problematic. Economic difficulties, social difficulties, a global pressure. The image of Israel is being destroyed. So there are a lot of elements together. Those together, they may pressure the politicians to give more concessions and let the war end.
As you say, Mahjoob, these talks are happening as we approach the second anniversary to
Correct.
Israel's war on Gaza. We know that more than 67,000 Palestinians have been killed in almost 2 years. You can imagine the Palestinians on the ground there. I mean, they're probably hoping for the best in terms of these talks, aren't
Absolutely.
they?
People on the ground, they are hoping that things stopped last week. But at the end of the day, it's obvious that the Israelis want to continue the bombardment of Gaza until the last second. And that is what's basically against what even the President Trump wants. And I think that itself also put Israel under a severe pressure, because there is also a European pressure on Israel. And today, Netanyahu made an interesting statement, actually blaming the European of being anti-Semitic and attacking the Israelis, actually. And that itself opened a new front, which is the eighth front, as the President of Israel said, which is the public opinion front, and how Israel is losing a new generation, and not only the new generation, but also the whole, I would say, intellectual elite in the world.
Okay, Mahjoob Zweiri, we'll have to leave it there. We'll have you on in another program later on today. Thank you so much
My pleasure.
for joining us.